plumber lives better today than the King of England lived 400 years ago.
Oil keeps us clean. It's in our trash bags, our trash cans, and in the garbage trucks that pick up our waste and drive it to the landfill. Virtually every container that holds cleaning fluids is made of oil-based plastics, and chemicals extracted from oil are in most household cleaners and personal hygiene products. Without oil, there is no indoor plumbing and no sewer systems. Oil also serves as a feedstock for nearly every modern product. Computer cases, lipstick, heart valves, contact lenses, shampoo, guns, tape, fertilizer, paint, and the peak of man's innovation, breast implants.
Thank you, Big Oil.
General Motors, the American General Motors, sells more cars in China than they sell in the United States.
They are smart enough to realize that we're headed into tough times. And what they've been doing is going out and buying up oil production around the world. And that means that when the problem hits, they will have captive supplies of oil.
They are in Canada. They are in Nigeria. They just signed a huge agreement with Russia.
They are terrified about the reality of peak oil.
China is?
China is.
And what are they doing?
They're buying up everything they can lay their hands on.
What we are witnessing right now is the largest peaceful transition of power, because energy means power, that the world has ever experienced in its entire history.
They see energy as a serious, very serious part of their economic growth. And honestly, the United States does not treat energy seriously.
Americans ride rail transit 88 miles a year. The average Western European rides rail transit 96 miles a year. 10% more for having 4 times the investment. So they're very energy wasteful and financially enormously expensive to move people around.
Nevertheless, more commuter rail systems are being built in American cities with much less population density. The New Mexico Rail Runner is a typical example. The train mostly shuttles government workers 50 miles from their homes in Albuquerque to their jobs in Santa Fe. It's an inexpensive option for the relative few who ride the train, but not so much for everyone else. When a rider lays down $8 for a round-trip ticket, taxpayers kick in $70 or more.
For every daily round-trip rider on this train, you could buy them a Toyota Prius every year for the next 30 years, cheaper than it costs to run this train.
These companies are going out and making these enormous wagers on things that they don't know whether they'll turn out. And they're bringing enormous amounts of technology and expertise to it, and yet they're vilified.
And being hated for it.
Yeah, well, that comes no extra charge.
So while their gross revenues are quite high, their profit margin, the percentage of every dollar in sales they actually keep, is lower than many other industries.
Pharmaceuticals and information technology, their profitability was in double digits in the teens and in the 20% numbers. Oil and gas has never been out of single digits, ever.
By making it appear that oil and gas companies are more profitable than they actually are, higher taxes seem reasonable.
The other day, the oil companies reported the highest profits in the history of the world. I want to take those profits.
Was to take a few of the billions from the oil companies.
I've proposed taxing the record multi-billion-dollar profits of oil companies.
Actually, the government already takes a lot of profit from oil and gas companies. In the past 25 years, the industry has paid $2.2 trillion in taxes, 3 times more than their profit margin. That's the equivalent of oil and gas companies giving every family in America a new car.
afraid of the moratorium on the offshore drilling that was placed by the government, the United States government, than I am about BP cleaning up.
And again, you know, one of the things we try to tell the White House, you can't just flip the switch on and off. These rigs, some of these are floating rigs that cost $500,000 a day. Once they leave, they may be gone for 2 years or longer. I'm not worried about the multi-billion multinational companies. What worries me, they'll move those rigs overseas. What worries me are the supply boats, or the catering companies, or the restaurants, or the clothing stores, the grocery stores. The bills don't stop. The bills don't stop just because of this moratorium.
It's horrifying because we're going to be out of jobs worse than the spill. You know, the state of Louisiana's budget was already in a crisis.
Yeah.
And we're probably gonna be in. We might fold. We might have to declare bankruptcy.
It'd be like California.
Yes, we'd be. Oh Lord, help us.